hello KU and welcome back to Good Evening KU. Today is a very special day because there is the career fair over at, what's the building?
It's at the Union.
At the Union, and you went to it, right?
Yes,
Emily?
I did, yeah.
That's incredible. So, can you tell me what it was like?
Got it. Well, it was specifically for journalism students, which was cool because often there's business career fairs, different type, but it's mainly specific towards journalism students. So they had a bunch of different businesses there from around Kansas, and mainly a lot of them were strategic communications, kind of types of advertising places, but there was at least, I'd say like 7 news publications or print publications. So that's kind of personally what I focused towards. So it was cool because they were kind of grouped together, which made it easier to bounce back and forth. But some people ended up speaking for more time and a lot of times the people brought members of their recruiting staff, or others brought their news directors. So it's kind of interesting to hear their experience at the news station. And then most people just had a resume printed off to give to them. And then they typically asked you what you were involved in and what you wanted to do in your future. So it was kind of interesting. It was cool seeing the different types of stations around here because I'm not from here. So it was cool to see stations that I've personally never heard of, but hear what they're kind of focused on. So, yeah.
And so when you were getting to know these businesses, what were you hoping to get out of connecting with them and networking?
Yeah. I'm looking mainly for, since I'm not from here, I won't be here this summer, but in the future, maybe a part-time position during the school year or a future job or a different type of internship. So just kind of, and in general, just kind of getting your name out there. It's always, and just getting my resume out there. So just trying to, and honestly, even if it doesn't end up in anything, just practicing, your elevator speech or whatever they call it, just knowing how you want to present yourself to people in your career field. Now,
the most important question that I know KU all wants to know, did you get any fun pens or notebooks?
Oh, well, they did have them they had candy and different little fun gifts at everyone. I didn't really grab any just because, I don't know, I didn't really have any hands for it because most of us put our backpacks down before.
Makes sense.
Yeah, but it was really nice. And they had a LinkedIn photo booth, which was really nice because
Wait, that's so helpful.
I know, because normally I just use my senior pictures, which are from 3 years ago.
Outdated.
Yeah, so it was nice to get a more professional picture, and I think they send you those later on. So it was really nice, and it was pretty busy I kind of got there towards the start, so it was cool to see, and a lot of members of our show and people in my other classes I know were there, so it's kind of good to see some familiar faces, yeah.
That's incredible. Well, I missed out, I guess. I'm going to the next one for
next
sure.
Year, yeah. And I think next year will actually be at the journalism school, hopefully.
So that'd be
awesome with the new renovation. Yeah, and it was cool because we went to a news station yesterday as a class in Topeka. And so I actually saw the guy that gave us the tour in Topeka today. So it was cool because I was like, I literally met you yesterday.
That's networking at its finest.
Yeah, it was awesome. So it was cool to have that kind of experience just being there yesterday to seeing him today. So it was cool. It was awesome. Yeah.
So what are you doing for spring break? Because that's starting tomorrow.
Yeah, about time. I'm going to Florida with some friends. What are you doing?
I'm actually just staying here in Lawrence. I'm from Lawrence.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just going to be hanging out with my family.
Got it.
I think
That's
my
nice.
mom wants me to paint our living room.
Oh,
so
little creativity.
Yeah.
No time
It'll
off.
be great.
Yeah, that's awesome though. I think everyone's been counting on the days, even though it's been pretty nice here. So at least where I'm going in Florida, it probably won't even be that much nicer than here. But it's
true.
Nice to just have a break from school in general. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll go on with the rest of our show and enjoy your afternoon, KU.
For students searching for a way to stay active in an outdoorsy way, the City of Lawrence has bike trails running in every direction, and with the new bike share program, we can stay in shape as we tour the sights of our beautiful city. Clinton Lake is only a short 30-minute bike ride away from Daisy Hill and has the most incredible sunset location in all of Lawrence. Walking campus may give you the KU calves, but biking can give you the KU thighs. Bike Lawrence today.
Good afternoon, I'm Mackenzie.
And I'm Layla. This is your Thursday Good Evening KU News Update. Michael Bloomberg dropped out of the presidential race on Tuesday and now endorsed Joe Biden. Biden and Bernie Sanders now remain the most likely Democratic candidates to potentially beat Trump. Bloomberg says he plans to remain involved in the upcoming race.
The KU Chancellor issued a suspension of travel to any country with a level of 3 or 4 warning due to the coronavirus. A cruise ship from Hawaii heading to San Francisco is now being held off the coast of California. 2 cruise ship passengers tested positive, one of them fatal. The U.S. death toll was raised to 10, with Washington and California containing the most cases.
The Free Staters are the coalition running in the 2020 student elections. The Free Staters is led by presidential candidate Apreme Mirsha and vice president candidate Grant Daly. Voter turnout dropped approximately 20% between 2018 to 2019. Some changes that the Free Staters have discussed include increasing STD testing on campus, shifting dining halls into study halls after hours, and revitalizing residence halls.
Ultra Music Festival was canceled yesterday due to the coronavirus outbreak. The festival was scheduled from March 20th to March 22nd. The festival normally takes place in Miami, Florida, and focuses on electric music. Headliners for the canceled festival included Flume, Griffin, Major Lazer, and more. In the 2019, 1,700,000 people were in attendance.
A Missouri man was sentenced to 19 years in prison for his role in planning a terrorist attack on Kansas City. Robert Lorenzo Hester Jr. planned the attack with believed ISIS members who were actually undercover FBI employees. The man was arrested in February 2017 but was convicted yesterday.
After the recent rapid decline in stock, U.S. stocks bounced back due to Joe Biden's strong Super Tuesday showing. The S&P 500 rose more than 4%. Healthcare, in particular, led the gains, with certain insurers raising more than 10%.
And that will wrap up today's news update. After a quick break, Ryan will be here with sports.
Welcome back. I'm Ryan, and this is your Good Evening KU Sports Update. No one was sure if Udoka Azubuike was going to even play last night, but the senior came out and scored a career-high 31 points to lead the Jayhawks past TCU 75-66. Azubuike added 14 rebounds and 5 block shots on a senior night to remember. He then went on to deliver a 13-minute speech in which he thanked all of his coaches, his teammates, his host family, and of course, the crowd. Azubuike's senior night performance to that of the legendary Danny Manning, who also scored 31 in his final game in Allen Fieldhouse.
You know what? I was part of Danny's, and I would say that tonight was probably better just because the game was closer. I was part of that. You know, that night, Danny's senior night, and we weren't very good at Okie State. I didn't have a lot of confidence coming into that one. But I think because the game was close, I would say tonight was probably 31-4. You know what? I was part of Danny's, and I would say that tonight was probably better just because the game was closer. I was part of that. You know, that night, Danny's senior night, and we weren't very good at Okie State. I didn't have a lot of confidence coming into that one. But I think because the game was close, I would say tonight was probably 31-14 and 5. That's pretty dominant.
It's a good day to be a Jayhawk. We won.
Both basketball teams are on the road on Saturday for the final games of the season. The women will travel to Manhattan to play K-State for a 2 p.m. tip-off time, and the men will be in Lubbock, Texas to play Texas Tech at 1 p.m. If the men were to lose to the Red Raiders and Baylor wins its final game, the teams will be declared co-Big 12 champions. The Big 12 conference tournaments will start next week. Both will be held in Kansas City, Missouri at the Sprint Center. The baseball team opened its home schedule with a 3-2 victory over Creighton yesterday afternoon at Hoagland Ballpark. The Jayhawks scored a run in the 8th inning and held on to win against the Blue Jays. KU is now 6-6 on the season and will open a 3-game series with Indiana State this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The softball team will also be home this weekend, hosting the Rock Chalk Challenge at Arocha Ballpark at Rock Chalk Park. The Jayhawks will play Wichita State, Drake, and Kansas City in games this weekend. That's it for today's sports update. Enjoy this nice weather while you can, and we hope that everyone will be safe and have a fun spring break. We'll see you back here in 2 weeks.